Now that we have all these world leaders talking about a two-state solution and willing to recognize a Palestinian state, I thought it would be prudent to have an educational video for you guys to break down exactly what a two-state solution would look like and what it would involve. Now, it might be a bit of a long video, but I suggest every single one of you watch this before you make a decision whether you want to back one state or two-state. One of the caveats for recognizing a Palestinian state is to disband the Islamic resistance and replace them with the Palestinian Authority. Now, it's poignant to know that the Palestinian Authority are an elected government in the West Bank, but not in Gaza. In Gaza, they lost the election to the Islamic resistance. So in order to recognize a Palestinian state, we would have to remove an elected governing body and replace it with one that was never elected by the people. One of the most problematic parts of this solution is that the Palestinian Authority work in collaboration with the settler colonial state of Israel. They are notorious for arresting, repressing, torturing, and even killing anybody in the West Bank that fights against the occupation. And in the last 21 months, they have shown no support for the people of Gaza. State, as well as being run by the Palestinian Authority, who do not work in the favor of the Palestinian people, it would also have no secure borders and would not be allowed to have an army to defend itself against any further future attacks. Creating a Palestinian state would also be ignoring all the Palestinians that were displaced from their lands in 1948 and in 1967 and in the years after. There would be no right to return. There you have it, a two-state solution where the country would be run by an unelected government that are working in collaboration with the settler colonial genocidal entity known as Israel. They would have no secure borders. They would have no army. They would be living on ravished land, polluted by all of these chemicals released from weapons. It would have a population suffering from PTSD, people with amputations, with physical diseases, with the hospitals no longer working, with the infrastructure broken, with no school system, no social services system, no healthcare system, no nothing. A vulnerable, broken society that is just a country in name. So now let's look at the flip side. Let's look at Israel. Israel will continue to have the backing of America, the UK, Canada, Europe. They will continue to receive millions and billions of pounds in military funding and aid. They will continue to occupy land that does not belong to them. They will continue to be allowed to operate at an apartheid state without any accountability. They will be free to develop their military and their military weapons. They will be free to go back again and again to attack their neighbor. Do we have to keep repeating this? But instead of it being an occupation, it will be an occupied land and the occupiers attacking people that were previously occupied, but now unoccupied, but now they're going through war. What does it sound like? It sounds like Lebanon. It sounds like Syria. It sounds like Iran. Israel will be able to continue with impunity while those that have lost their family members, lost their lands, lost their pride, lost their limbs, they will have to act like nothing happened. They are expected to continue because they were given their own separate state, a state in just name. Let me ask you a question. So when South Africa finally ended apartheid, did we ask the South Africans to give a parcel of their land to the previous occupiers and say, here you go, have your own state, carry on with your apartheid and your colonialism and your imperialism. That's fine. Have our land to go and do that. No, they didn't, and we did not ask them to do that. Instead, it was clear and simple. This country is now South Africa. It will be run by the South Africans. You have two choices. You either leave or you live under the new rules of the new country. And even to this day, you still have white South African refugees running off to America to Donald Trump. So there are always these choices for the colonizers. And I don't think personally that we should be asking Palestinians to sacrifice any of their land to people that colonized them. Someone whose history comes from the Indus civilizations, we did not say to the British when they left British India, here's a little parcel of land for you, carry on with your occupation over there. No, we sent them packing right back to the UK, and then we came over here. So yes, that is my opinion. I stand 10 toes down with it. I do not believe or agree with a two-state solution. I am 100% one state, a Palestinian state. The land needs to be returned to the people. Colonizers need to leave and return from where they came, and if they choose to stay or they are native of the land, like there are many, many Palestinian Jews who are more than welcome to stay. It is their land. They never colonized anything. We're talking about European invaders who went there under the guise of Zionism. It would be unacceptable and hypocritical of me to expect the Palestinians to bow down to their colonizers, to concede and to give away land when my people kicked the occupiers out. And I will not be a hypocrite. I want for the Palestinians what we achieved by ending occupation. I want them to end their occupation. I want their land back. I want it to be one state, and I stand by that 10 toes down. In this video, I've given you some facts on what a two-state solution actually looks like, and I've given you my personal opinion. Now it's down to you to use your cognitive skills to learn, to grow, to evolve, and to get rid of the propaganda that they have been shoving down our throats for years. And it's not going to be easy to decolonize our minds, but that is what we need to do. Now make your choice. Decide one state, two state. Let me know in the comments. I am so curious to see what people really believe. One or two states.